You've probably thought you had an idea for a card that no one else had thought of before. They probably have. Imagine if those cards had been released, they would have broken Clash Royale. Spears. Sounds harmless. Just some goblin spears getting yeeted across the arena. Wrong. This spell is arrows on steroids. Spears tosses a barrage of goblin spears that deal higher damage than arrows, cost less elixir, and pierce through troops in a line. You're getting premium damage for a budget price plus tower chip on top. The math is broken. Goblin Gang, obliterated while you profit. Skeleton Army, gone and you still have elixir left over. Bats, deleted from existence and the tower takes damage too. Every single interaction is a positive trade. There's no scenario where this spell loses. Logbait would vanish overnight. Goblin Barrel becomes worthless. Princess becomes irrelevant. The entire archetype just dies because every swarm card gets countered for less than it costs to play them. Cycle decks would quit. Bait players would uninstall. The spell is too efficient. Better damage, cheaper cost, pierce effect, and tower pressure all rolled into one card. Supercell looked at this and said, nope, this deletes half the game. They scrapped it before it could murder an entire playstyle. Your swarms die instantly, your tower bleeds, and your opponent banks elixir. No counterplay, no mind games, just pure value that nukes the meta. At least death comes quick with spears. This next spell keeps your troops alive long enough to embarrass themselves in front of thousands. Butterfly Spell. Tornado's annoying little cousin that costs pocket change and turns professional warriors into toddlers at a petting zoo. Butterfly Spell doesn't damage troops or slow them. It just makes them chase pretty butterflies while your tower farms them for free. Giant Push? Now it's a nature documentary. Golem Beatdown? More like Golem having a midlife crisis. That 20 elixir push you spent 2 minutes building. Currently experiencing an identity crisis because of some insects. Your opponent can spam this every push because it costs about as much as a sneeze. Defense becomes completely free. You just spent your entire elixir bar watching your troops discover their inner child. At least they got some cardio. The victims of this next card don't even get that luxury. Hologram Tower. A 2 elixir card that baits 6 elixir spells. The math is so broken even Supercell's accountants started crying. Hologram Tower is a fake building that looks perfectly real until your troops get close. Then it vanishes like your dad going to get milk. Prince charges it with all his might. P.E.K.K.A. waddles over ready for violence. Balloon floats toward it with murderous intent. And then poof! Gone. Your troops are standing there, looking absolutely stupid while the real towers delete them. But wait, there's more. It baits spells too. Someone actually fires a 6 elixir rocket at a hologram. That's a +5 elixir trade for playing a magic trick. At this point, just hand over your trophies and apologize. Fake buildings are frustrating, sure, but this next plant takes anger issues to a whole new level. Flower. Someone at Supercell watched Little Shop of Horrors and thought, yeah, let's weaponize that. Flower is a carnivorous plant with an eating disorder and 0 table manners. It grabs troops, swallows them whole, spits out the bones, and immediately starts looking for seconds. Hog Rider becomes lunch, Ram Rider becomes a light snack, Musketeer becomes an appetizer. Most defensive buildings have the decency to die after defending one push. This psychopath just keeps eating like it's an all-you-can-eat buffet and your deck is the menu. Your opponent has to spell it just to be allowed to play the game. It's basically a 4 elixir bouncer with a serious attitude problem. At least it only terrorizes ground troops. This next spawner believes in equal opportunity suffering. Bat Nest. Furnace is annoying. Bat Nest is Furnace's older brother who got kicked out of anger management class. This spawner doesn't just release bats, it vomits entire swarms that blacken the sky like a biblical plague. Most decks run 1 or 2 air counters max, so you're stuck playing Arrow's Hero, pressing the spell button every 5 seconds while your tower gets pecked to death. Miss 1 wave? 500 damage. Miss 2? Start writing your will. Air defense is already about as reliable as a paper umbrella in a hurricane. Bat Nest would turn it into a full-scale emergency. Your only strategy becomes spell cycling until you run out of elixir, and then just crying. At least bats are squishy. This next spawner only summons premium violence. Elite Barb Hut. Elite Barbs are already the card equivalent of getting stuck in traffic. Elite Barb Hut is that, but forever. And you can't change lanes. This spawner is basically illegal in 47 countries. It vomits pairs of elite barbarians down both lanes like they're late for an appointment with your tower's face. You spend the entire match defending elite barbs while your opponent watches Netflix. Kill 2? 4 more are already sprinting at you. It's whack-a-mole, except the moles have swords, rage issues, and restraining orders. The only counter is spelling the building, but by then you're so behind on elixir, you might as well just accept your 3 crown with dignity. Elite barbs can be spelled though. These next guys laugh at your fireball. Golemite Cave. Lava Hound, except someone gave it every performance-enhancing substance known to science. Golemite Cave spawns mini golems. Cute. When they die, they spawn even smaller golemites. Less cute. It's Russian nesting dolls, except they're all made of rock and deeply invested in your tower's destruction. Your opponent has to kill the spawner, the golemites, the baby golemites, the baby golemites, and somehow still defend your actual win condition. Beatdown becomes unstoppable. Drop this building, go make a sandwich, come back to your opponent crying in the fetal position because they've been defending tanks since the Stone Age. These guys are slow, at least. The next spawner discovered the concept of speed and got way too excited about it. Hog Stables. Royal Hogs already get chipped 90% of the time. Hog Stables looked at those numbers and said, those are rookie numbers. This spawner launches Royal Hogs at both lanes like it's conducting a military operation. 4 hogs per wave, 0 mercy, infinite psychological damage. Defend left lane, right lane says. Hello, defend both? Cool, you just spent 8 elixir countering a 5 elixir building, and wave 2 is already incoming. The math stopped mathing 3 waves ago. Your tower just slowly dies from chip damage while you contemplate your life choices. Split lane pressure is cute though. This next spawner brings the entire sky down on your head. Minion Hive. Lavaloon thinks it's intimidating. Minion Hive thinks Lavaloon is adorable. This spawner doesn't release minions, it conducts an aerial invasion. 15 minions on screen minimum, shredding everything that dares exist. Ground heavy deck? Congratulations, you just auto-lose. Got air counters, hope you enjoy spelling every wave with 0 elixir for actual gameplay. Someone pairs this with Lava Hound? Just close the app, delete it, throw your phone into the ocean. There is no recovery from that level of disrespect, at least spawners can be spelled down, or so you'd think. Also, subscribe if you want more broken Clash Royale content. Ice Wizard Tower. Nope. Ice Wizard Tower has 3000 HP and a personal vendetta against movement. It slows everything on the map permanently. Hog Rider moves like he's 90 years old. Ram Rider forgets what rushing means. Your will to continue playing? Slowed to a complete stop. Every push crawls across the bridge like it's walking through cement. The meta becomes a 6-minute staring contest where nothing ever connects and everyone just ages in real time. Offense dies. Fun dies. The game becomes a screensaver with anger. At least that one stays on defense. These next cards actually push. Unfortunately, they also break the laws of physics to do it. Portal. Someone on the Supercell team watched too much sci-fi and decided game balance was optional. Portal creates 2 linked teleportation gates. Troops walk into one, instantly appear at the other. Drop Giant at the bridge, he enters the portal, boom! He's already destroying the tower. No pathing, no bridge, no counterplay, just instant teleportation. Your opponent spent 10 elixir on defense? Irrelevant. Your troops just materialize behind it like a magic trick. Oh, and it works both ways. Enemy golem pushing, portal it back to sender. Now they're attacking themselves. You just turned Clash Royale into a physics exam nobody studied for. Every match becomes who can abuse portals faster. The entire game revolves around one spell. Supercell took one look at this and said absolutely not. Wise decision. Unlike whoever designed these community concepts that are somehow even more unhinged. Anti-spell. A spell that blocks other spells. Let that sink in. For 3 elixir, you place this card, and suddenly your push becomes untouchable. No fireball on your Royal Hogs, no arrows for your skeleton barrel, no log wiping out your goblin barrel. Your opponent's entire spell cycle becomes useless. On paper, this sounds completely broken. And honestly, in the right hands, it absolutely would be. But here's the thing. If your opponent just waits or doesn't use spells at all, you wasted 3 elixir for absolutely nothing. Still, watching a goblin barrel survive a log would be comedy gold. The mind games alone would make people rage quit, but if you think blocking spells is broken, wait until you see this next one. Chomper. A carnivorous jungle flower that hides as decoration until troops get close. Then it lunges forward and instantly devours the first troop in range. It's part trap, part building, fully terrifying. The Chomper isn't here to tank damage or defend multiple pushes, it's here to eat one victim and ruin someone's entire strategy. Place it near the bridge. Your opponent drops Hog Rider, Chomp, gone. They panic and play Ram Rider, Chomp, also gone. It's a one-time use building that guarantees value because something is getting eaten. The psychological impact of watching your 4 elixir win condition vanish in one bite, priceless. At least that one sits still. This next building moves and it shouldn't. Bridgemaster. The first ever building type champion costs 3 elixir with a 1 elixir ability. Place it near the bridge and it destroys the bridge for a few seconds, forcing your opponent's push to switch lanes. This would be insane against split lane decks like Royal Recruits, where positioning is everything. Your opponent commits an entire push to one lane. You delete the bridge. Now they're panicking, scrambling to redirect, and by then, you've already set up the perfect defense. Sure, destroying the bridge gives your opponent free tempo, but you get time to react, drop a defensive building, or land a juicy rocket. The mind games would be elite tier. But bridges are temporary. This next concept is pure chaos. Raptor riders. Prehistoric goblins riding dinosaurs. Yes, you read that right. This 5 elixir epic spawns 3 raptors, each ridden by either a goblin or a barbarian straight out of the Stone Age. They're lightning fast, only target ground units, and deploy with a 2-second delay, giving your opponent just enough time to panic. We already have Goblin Drill, Goblin Machine, so why not Goblin Raptor Cavalry? They sprint down the lane like a Jurassic Park chase scene, and your opponent has to deal with dinosaurs. Dinosaurs in Clash Royale. Peak game design. But if you think prehistoric goblins are wild, this next card literally doesn't attack. The Hypnotist, a legendary card that swings a glowing spiral and temporarily turns enemy troops against their own team. He doesn't deal damage, he just hypnotizes. But here's the catch. If he takes any damage at all, even a spear goblin poke, the spell breaks and everything resets. He costs 5 elixir, has super low HP, and works best from behind your towers or with heavy protection. The bigger the enemy troop, the longer it stays hypnotized. Imagine hypnotizing a Mega Knight and watching it jump on its former teammates. The disrespect, the chaos, the rage quits. This card would tilt people into oblivion, but at least hypnosis is temporary. This next building reflects pain permanently. Monk Tower. A building that doesn't shoot, it reflects. Inspired by the monk's signature ability, this epic building punishes aggression by turning your opponent's firepower against them. Every projectile, arrows, rockets, expo shots, even sparky blasts, get reflected right back at the attacker. It doesn't deal damage, it just returns yours. Your opponent fires rocket at your tower. Monk Tower reflects it. Now they just rocketed themselves. Sparky charges up a massive blast. Monk Tower reflects it. Sparky deletes itself. The building isn't here to stop your push. It's here to make you regret launching it. To balance it out, Monk Tower has low HP and 0 effect on melee units, making it vulnerable if you get close. But ranged decks? They just auto-lose. Speaking of auto-losing, this next card costs 15 elixir. Beta Minions. These minions have more range than Princess. Princess already chips your tower from the next ZP code. Now imagine that except airborne, and there's 2 of them. Beta Minions snipe your tower from another dimension while you frantically place counters that arrive fashionably late to their own funeral. Ground decks become shooting galleries. Air counters struggle because these guys outrange the concept of fairness itself. It's like fighting a sniper with aimbot and a restraining order against balanced gameplay. At least they can't teleport through your defense. This next guy basically can. Charger. Bowler already steamrolls swarms like an angry boulder with commitment issues. Charger said, "What if we added a bandit dash though?" He dashes forward, completely ignores your skeletons like they don't exist, demolishes your tower, then continues throwing splash boulders just to add insult to injury. Can't kite him, can't distract him, can't use cheap troops. He just dashes through everything like he's late for destroying your day. Bowler's entire weakness was being slow and kiteable. Charger removed that weakness and replaced it with violence. Cycle cards become useless. Expensive counters arrive too late. You lose either way. Pick your flavor of defeat, but at least Charger has the decency to target troops. This airborne psychopath doesn't even acknowledge your defense exists. Ancient Minion. This troop cannot be blocked, not difficult to block, not hard to counter, physically cannot be blocked. Ancient Minion ignores every ground troop like they're ghosts and only targets buildings. Knight, invisible. Valkyrie doesn't register. Your entire ground defense might as well be a hologram. He flies straight to the tower like he's got a divine mission to ruin your day. Only counter is air troops. No air troops in your deck, you just lose. That's it. Game over. Ground decks become extinct overnight. Every defensive strategy, gone. Reduced to atoms. Just accept the L and move on with your life. Speaking of moving on, this guy kills you before you can process what's happening. Gunner. Shoots faster than Firecracker, hits harder than Musketeer, has the energy of 12 espressos, and 0 supervision. Gunner dual wields pistols and unloads on everything that moves. Swarms, deleted, tanks, melted faster than ice cream in summer. Towers, chipped into oblivion. He does everything at once and you can't stop him without mortgaging your entire elixir bar. Prince is balanced because he's melee and needs setup. Gunner said, Balance is for cowards and just shoots constantly from range. He's basically Musketeer, except she discovered energy drinks and chose violence. At least Gunner eventually dies. This next one gets stronger the longer it lives. Bomb Cart. Cannon Cart is frustrating. Bomb Cart is Cannon Cart, except it decided grenades sounded fun. Rolls forward with a shield, plants itself, then starts launching bombs over your defense directly onto your tower's head. Can't tank the bombs. Can't block them. They just arc over everything and explode. It's siege warfare, except there's no counterplay, no defense, just acceptance. Cannon Cart has a shield and range, which is annoying but manageable. Bomb Cart adds explosive splash that completely ignores the concept of defense. Your tower gets carpet bombed while you sit there wondering what you did in a past life to deserve this. And if you thought that was the worst spawner mechanic, strap in. Master Builder. Starts innocent. Spawns Zappy. Annoying but survivable. Then spawns Sparky. Threatening but counterable with swarms. Then spawns Mega Knight. Game over, delete the app. Master Builder is a progressive spawner that escalates like a particularly aggressive fever dream. Every other spawner is consistent and predictable. This one gets progressively more violent over time. Wave 1, you're handling Zappy thinking, this is fine. Wave 2, Sparky appears and you start sweating. Wave 3, Mega Knight drops and you're just done. Finished. There's no defending infinite Mega Knights. They jump your troops, clear your defense, demolish your tower, and 3-crown you while you question every decision that led to this moment. Every other spawner spawns the same predictable troop. Master Builder said, let's get creative, and proceeded to ruin the entire concept of game balance. Click the video on screen for more Clash Royale content.